All in keeping warm on extremely cold days. Please silence cell phones prior to starting our meeting. Lewis Carroll wrote, "I wonder if the snow loves the trees and the fields, that it kisses them so gently, and then it covers them up snug, with a white quilt. Perhaps it says, go to sleep, darlings, till the summer comes again." This was from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I'd like to thank Kathy Potashnik for the beautiful memorial bouquet. Last week, the colors and the variety of the blooms were truly eye-catching. I'd like to also thank Roseanne Mastrangelo for having Penny Rakoff Lee enlighten us about her glass-making process. Her depth of knowledge emphasizes her commitment to art. Thank you to Gail Gubbins for today's very attractively and innovative display. Thank you, Gail. Karen will now read minutes from last week's meeting.
Good morning, everyone. This is a good trial run. So, Wednesday morning club minutes, January 14th, 2026. President Joan Lyman called the meeting to order at 10:30 a.m. at the Beaches Manor. She once again, is that better? Yes. Okay. I'll try. Now I lost my place. She once again asked members to consider volunteering to fill one of the upcoming 2026-2028 year positions. She thanked Drama Chair Debbie Myslinski for bringing the Rome Community Theater's talented actors and their delightful presentation of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to our meeting. Kathy Pasternak also was thanked for today's beautiful memorial flower display. Secretary Glenda Alvarez read the minutes from the January 7th, 2026 meeting. With no additions or corrections, a motion to accept was made by Debbie Myslinski and seconded by Linda Berry. Motion passed with all in favor. Roseanne Mastrangelo, Art Chair, introduced today's speaker, Penelope Rakoff Lee, a native New Yorker whose artistic career began at Alfred University in its world-renowned ceramics program. She continued graduate studies at Temple University at its Tyler School of Art, where her love for glass layering developed. Incorporating ceramics and glass layering together, she has created and designed beautiful and unique pieces of jewelry and sculptures. She explained the creative process of making her pieces along with her journey of being a student, a teacher, and a mentor. Traveling to art craft shows, workshops, and wholesale shows, she has established herself as one of the top female designers in the glass world, which was once dominated by you-know-who, the males. In 2018, she was invited to do a residency at the Corning Museum of Glass, which is one of the best in the world. At the end of her presentation, she answered questions from the audience, and President Lyman then thanked her for the very interesting and informative program. A motion to adjourn at 11:40 a.m. was made by Marge Palmer and seconded by Kathy M. Olney. Next week's program will be a health and wellness presentation, respectfully submitted, Glenda Alvarez, Secretary, right by Karen Fontana.
That was a great trial run. Thank you, Karen. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as read? Kathy K. Olney. Can I have a second? Mary Ann? Penny? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sheila Waters will now introduce new members.
Good morning. I hope you're all warm enough. Is it working? Can you hear me? Teacher voice? Yes. Okay. We have two to introduce today. Barbara Kane will be introduced by Doreen Kelly, so come on up. And it's come to my attention that people might not want to sponsor people because they don't want to come up here to introduce. So if that's your problem and you have a friend who would like to join us, I could introduce them, or the endorser could introduce them. It doesn't have to be the sponsor. So.
Well, I'm happy to introduce Barbara Kane. Barbara is my next door neighbor. I first met Barbara when she was 8 years old, and that's when her parents moved into the house next door. She was a playmate to my children, but she grew up as they did. She still lives next door. She went away she graduated from RFA. She went away to college. She went to Geneseo, and then she lived her life and had 2 children. And then when her parents decided they didn't want to live there anymore, they wanted to go to Florida, Barbara took over the house, so she's still my next door neighbor. Barbara recently retired from Munson, so I'm looking at Barbara as a gem for Wednesday morning club. All her contacts. She was in charge of many of the programs at Munson. She knows how to organize. She's just going to be. I think she's going to be better for us than we are for her. To be introducing her. She has energy galore, and you see her lawn, her house, everything is perfect. And she does a lot of other volunteer work, so she's got the energy for us, and I hope she will enjoy and gain from being with us. So there's Barbara.
Our next new member is Heather Martin, and I'm actually going to introduce her. I know Heather from MBILR. She was born and raised in Rome. She recently sold her house and moved to Marcy. She retired in 2021 after 38 years of employment at MetLife in Oriskany. She worked in a variety of areas, including new product development, data security, and risk management. So it sounds like you know computers. So that'll come in handy. At age 10, she became the first female member of the Rome-based Mohawk Valley Fraser Highlander Bagpipe Band, marching past my house numerous times in countless parades and competing across New England and Ontario, Canada for over 25 years. She's an active member in several local groups, including the GE Ski Club, Tramp and Trail Hiking Club. I know her from MBILR, and she probably knows how to make these from that class. I enjoy volunteering her time at local events such as building beds for children and working fundraisers for the sculpture space in Utica. It provides a residency program for multimedia artists from around the world. She loves to travel, and she likes music, camping, and a host of other outdoor activities. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you. Looking forward to meeting everyone.
Welcome, Barbara and Heather, to Wednesday Morning Club. By the tone of the resumes, I think some people might give their eyes on you in the future. Before introducing our speaker, this quote from Mahatma Gandhi seems appropriate. It is health that is real wealth, and not pieces of gold and silver. And with that, here is Carla Till to introduce our speaker. When I was talking to one of my friends, when I was talking to Chet DeBerry, who wasn't able to be here, he knew that I was at the emergency room 2 weeks ago, and he said, please mention that the good experience that you had. Now, I was there for 3 hours, but the thing is that in order for every test to be taken and then be analyzed, it does take that time. So it's something that we need to be grateful that it's here and so close. So I did mention that. I wanted to mention that. And then in our audience today, we have a very special lady to the Rome Hospital. And Florence Kaplan is here. Florence, do you want to give a wave to all of us? Things don't just happen. People make them happen. And she and her husband have been very generous. Okay. This is Rachel. I'm a dedicated and experienced registered nurse for over 30 decades of service at Rome Health, where I have developed and refined my clinical and leadership skills across a broad range of healthcare settings. I graduated from Rome Free Academy in 1986 and earned my LPN through BOCES. While working, I pursued my RN degree from Mohawk Valley Community College, graduating in 1990. Following my RN, I began my long-term tenure at Rome Health, where I have contributed to various departments and clinical areas. Throughout my career, I have gained valuable experience in diverse settings, including intensive care, medical surgery, post-anesthetic care, quality case management, house supervision, and professional development. This extensive experience has provided me with a deep understanding of patient care, hospital operations, and leadership in the healthcare environment. In recognition of my commitment to advanced nursing practice, I was recently selected for a prestigious director fellowship through the American Organization for Nursing Leadership. This fellowship provides a unique opportunity to further expand my expertise in healthcare leadership and organization management. Beyond my personal life, I am a proud wife, mother of 4, and soon to be grandmother of 3. I share my home with 2 beloved dogs who bring even more joy and vibrancy to our lives. Please welcome Rachel Gubbins.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me? Is that okay? Okay. This is going to be a trial for me, just like everyone else. I don't talk that often, so I hope I do well, and I hope you can hear everything that I'm saying, and I hope you can see the screen also. I will be doing some walking back and forth to explain some pictures, so you can have an understanding of the innovation that is happening at Rome Health. Everybody is familiar with Rome Health? Okay.
Rachel, maybe you should take the microphone with you when you walk.
Right, I don't know if this one will. Yeah. I also have a very loud voice. Okay. All right, so innovation at Rome Health. If you look at these 2 pictures, mainly what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the pictures first before I start anything else. So over here is our new OB operating room. It's our C-section suite. Now, we've never had one before. We used to go down to the operating room and have to bring all our C-sections down to the 1st floor. So this was amazing for us. Maternity is loving it. It's right down the hallway from their unit. And they have a waiting room, and the families can sit right out there and wait for that to be, their C-section to be done. Right now it's for scheduled C-sections. Are usually, if we do any emergency C-sections or stat C-sections, they still go down to the surgery center or down to OR. The other thing is that all maternity staff had to be trained in OR and PACU and recovery, because that's not something they did. So, they used to bring their patients down to the operating room. So it was a long, intense education program, and we still continue to educate each and every day to all our nurses to assure that they can go in and they can be an OR tech. They can circulate. All those things had to be trained. So a lot is happening there each and every day. Their educator for this is Michelle Bates. She's been with maternity for years, and she does a great job. On the other side here is the medical center. Has anybody had the opportunity to go to our medical center yet? Okay. So that is off through the Bartlett entrance, if you will, or the Boulevard entrance. You can't get into the rest of the hospital through there. It's only the medical center. So all our providers are there on the first floor, on the basement, and then on the first floor is our specialties. So we have ortho, we have surgery, and all the specialties up the stairs, or there's an elevator too. And it's nice to have all those individuals there, because sometimes if we don't have the ability to discharge a patient with an appointment, sometimes we can get our primary, get them right in there, and they can be seen, and it helps us with our community. A lot of patients do not have physicians. Okay, any questions on those two pictures? Okay, and these are all their completed projects. So right here is our surgery center. We have 4 operating rooms, and we have 2 procedure rooms. So that's usually endo that will go down. This is right on the first floor, right when you come into the emergency room area. There's a little area that they can get in that way. Once we continue our development, then it'll be a different area that they can get into, also through PACU, which is recovery unit. It's beautiful. I helped set this all up. It is like prestige. It's great. Hopefully, if you ever have to go in the surgery center or in the surgery room, hopefully you're sedated and you won't recall any of this. Okay? That's what my dream would be for you. Okay? Usually they sedate you and give you something to help the anxiety before you even hit the room. All right, so intensive care unit just opened up just recently. They're all single rooms. Has anybody been able to see our intensive care unit? They did do a walkthrough. It was beautiful. There are 9 rooms. They're all single rooms. They all have bathrooms. In our old ICU, we didn't have bathrooms. So everybody had to use what we call the bedside commode. Really not the best. It's an embarrassing situation for a lot of people. But these rooms are, everything's in there, med passing, everything is in the room. The doors open and close automatically. We have isolation rooms. We can monitor our detox people, our psych patients that we have. And the layout is just perfect. There's 2 crash carts. It's a nice little space. And they're very happy up there. And then on the main lobby, has anybody come through our main lobby? Yeah. Okay, so the main lobby is open. As of, I think, February 1st or February 2nd, the main lobby is going to close from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. After we've opened it and noticed that there's not a lot of traffic during that time, it's not worth, security being out there and all that. So we're going to close it during the night shift and then reopen it at 5 a.m. So that way, if you have ambulatory surgery or something going on, you can come in through those doors at that time. They have the patient access right there, and then they have the pre-op right there behind. We have the Squigs door, and we have a couple restrooms. Sometimes it tends to get a little cool out there, depending on how cold it is outside. If you turn the heat on, then sometimes it's a little loud and they cannot hear at the registration desk. So we're battling that each and every day, but we're going to try to come up with a solution for that. Any questions for those pictures?
So if you had to come to the hospital after 10 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
you go through emergency?
Emergency room, yeah. And they will develop like say you wanted to come in and see somebody, say your loved one is in ICU. So you would just have to tell security where you're going and then they would walk you through that, okay? Because sometimes we have patients who are comfort care, they need their family members, they might have dementia, and we encourage families to stay with them if they need that support. So you might be going in and out. Same with maternity. Babies come at any time. And then we have our robotics program. So we have 2 Da Vinci robots. Physicians love them, patients love them. We started with 1, we are up to 2 now. I can't say they're awesome. So, I mean, they're a great piece of equipment to have in our operating room. The physicians were all trained, and we do have a robotics person that will assist them if needed. And then on the other side is our new aquablation for prostate care. This is brand new. I think there's only a few hospitals that have this, and it's like a water wave that it's not hot water, but it tends to decrease the amount of the prostate inflammation, and it's not invasive as much as if you had to have other treatments like a prostatectomy. Yes.
What kind of surgeries are performed on the robotic side?
The robotic side, you could have your gallbladder. There's so many, several, and I'm not sure where they've all been trained on all of them yet. But you have your gallbladder, you have your bowel resections. Yeah, these robots just go in and the physician's hands are just doing everything. So then you have like little incisions and not back in the day we used to have an incision from our sternum down to our pubic bone. That doesn't happen anymore. You have little slits. Yeah. So a lot has happened over the years. I can remember my first AAA surgery, an aneurysm surgery. That patient was dressed from pubic bone all the way up to breastbone. Now it's an airstrip. It's just a little tiny bandage. So things have, changed over the years, and they continue to change over and over.
Rachel, do doctors come from other areas to have the surgery here with the robotics? If their hospital doesn't have it?
Not as of yet. They have to be affiliated with the facility, so they have to have privileges. So that has to be done before. So our physicians who all do surgeries at our facility have privileges in our facility. So they might come from St. Joe's because they have privileges, but you just can't have somebody come from like a different facility out in Utica to use our robotics if they don't go through the whole process. It's a safety issue, and it's yeah.
I have one further question on the robotics.
Yes.
So are they only done for like scheduled surgeries, or if it was an emergency appendicitis, can you do something like that?
Well, that all depends on if it's an emergency appendicitis and if they perfed, it might be a bigger like clean out, and they might have to open up at that time because you don't want all that bowel and stool in there. So that all depends on the seriousness of the situation. If they can do it robotically, they will do that robotically because it's less invasive to the patient. Okay. Opening soon. This is our 18-bay pre-procedure and post-procedure combined unit, serving the operating room and endo. So I just did a walkthrough yesterday. Was it yesterday? Just to see what it was like before I spoke about it. And each bay is going to have. This is how it's going to be looking. Their computer is going to be right there to chart. They're going to have their medication station right here. And it's going to be for all of your PACU patients and all of your endo procedures. So right now, endo is up in the old ICU. They will be moving down, and we're looking like March. Alright, so more to come on this, but it is gonna be a beautiful area, and that's the other area that you're gonna be able to go into the operating room from.
What's that?
PACU is recovery, post anesthesia. Okay, so after surgery. Sorry. Okay.
Where is this located?
This is going to be located in the old operating room suite. So they redid it and updated it, so it'll cross right into the OR. You'll be able to get into the OR from this area, and it's if you've been in there recently, if you've came through the emergency room, you would see all the construction taking place, and that's right where it's going to be, like right near the first floor elevator. You're going to go through those double doors where it was old surgery, and now it's going to be this.
Is there a reason why it only is endoscopies and not colonoscopies?
Well, endoscopies is colonoscopy. It's the endo
both.
unit. It's both.
Okay.
So they can do colonoscopies and endos, and they can do both at the same time. All right. The worst part of those procedures is the prep. Yep, you said it. So a little bit about the Mother Cabrini. This is the main reason why I'm here to talk. It's the Mother Cabrini Health Foundation. It's a private nonprofit organization established in 2019, and we were awarded that. So that is like awesome. The goal is to improve the health and well-being of our community and eliminate barriers to care and bridge gaps in the health services. The funds for the program and initiatives across New York State that provide direct health care and address social determinants under 5 grant program areas, and that is to assess to care basic needs, healthcare workforce, mental and behavioral health, and general fund. So right now with Mother Cabrini Grant, we were able to get awarded $5 million over 5 years. So the Mother Cabrini Grant Foundation is a 51 million nursing initiative that is around, and we were lucky enough to get the 5. So we're going to support our New York State workforce. We're focusing on getting a magnet recognition and virtual nursing. Our PTAP program, which is a certification that we developed at our facility for all transition to practice nurses. They're new nurses who come in, they're baby nurses, and we walk them through like a whole year of education to help them to get to the next level of their learning. The goal is to improve the nursing excellence and provide critical funding to bolster recruitment, retention, and professional development. So, hence, with Mother Cabrini, we were able to get a new mannequin. My mannequin I couldn't bring with me. She's a little heavy, but she's able to talk. She's able to you can listen to her lung sounds. You can use it like she's a real patient, and that's something we've never had before. So we can make sure she has bowel sounds. We can start IVs on her. We can have an emergency situation and she can code, and we can go ahead and do the intubation and put her on a ventilator. We can put a Foley in her. We can do everything that you could do for a real patient on her, and she even talks to us. You know, she screams at us. She'll breathe. I mean, it's amazing to see her, but I couldn't bring her here because she is about 100 pounds. With that being said, we also can do like a shock link and attach it to her so she can go into an abnormal rhythm, and we can start chest compressions on her. We can start IVs. We can do blood draws. There's so many things that we can do for her that is beautiful. The other thing that I brought with me is this little thing. And I'm not sure why my phone is ringing, so I apologize. It's my watch, it's not my phone. This little thing, has anybody ever used any of this before? Did you ever watch videos or do a video game on this? Okay. This is a simulation. I brought it so you could see it. I'm not going to turn it on or have anybody use it just because you can tend to get dizzy. because if you're not used to it. I have never played a video game in my life until this. And you put this on and you turn it on and you connect to Wi-Fi, and then the program that we purchased, and turns into a whole hospital. And then you have right in front of you a patient, and you have to take care of that patient, and you're using, these are your hands. Okay, so you're taking care of your patients, you have these as your hands, you're given medications, you're listening to their lungs, the patient is talking to you. And at one point, Ashley, the CNO, was doing this with me, and the patient, she went to go do something, and we were just getting used to it, and she took the gown off by mistake because the hand was wet, and the patient said something to her, like, apparently you don't know what you're doing because you just took my gown off. Oh my God, this really does happen, because it was my first time ever using such a thing. So what we're going to do is, with our transition to practice nurses, they are going to have, like, classes, use this and be more comfortable talking to patients because they talk back to you. Educate them, because a lot of new nurses don't know how to educate and speak to people because of the texting. They're always texting, so a lot of new nurses don't know that communication style. So when I go in and talk to a patient and then a young nurse goes in, they're totally different conversations. I can sit down and have a nice conversation with you, start educating you right on day one. They don't know how to do that because of the texting. You know, our society and the way we communicate is totally different. So hopefully this is going to help them to become more comfortable and be able to become stronger in their communication style. Yes?
So is that part of the AI?
Yep, that's the AI, and that's all from Mother Cabrini grant. And same with the mannequin is also AI, and it's also the Mother Cabrini grant. We also have virtual nursing, which is now going to be a trial on 2 East, which that I believe is the next slide. Or maybe I'm, just chit-chatting. Oh, well, first let me talk about Magnet. The Magnet Recognition Program is awarded to nursing credentialing. It's awarded by the ANCC. It's the highest national honor for nursing excellence and high quality of patient care, and that's what the Mother Cabrini grant is going to help us to get. So our application will be going in, probably we're looking at October of this year, and then within 2 years, we're hoping to be Magnet certified and recognized. And that is a big, big deal for hospitals. So it's going to improve patient outcomes, it's going to increase nurse satisfaction, and it's going to decrease our turnover. And that's what we're hoping for. Maybe decrease our traveling and our agency and get more nurses that want to work at Rome Hospital. The goal is to have people to have a waiting list to come to Rome Health. Yes?
So it says 36 hospitals in New York State. Are there any in our area?
Yes. There were some in Syracuse. I think St. Joe's is Magnet. I'm not sure who else is, but I did go to a Magnet conference not too long ago, and there are several that were there, and they were accepting their Magnet certification. So, I'll be going down. So with professional practice and professional governance opportunities, so we do a lot to make sure that our staff has a voice. We want them to talk. We want to get their ideas. We want to use them. We don't want our leadership to come up with all of the processes. We want to hear from our staff. So we have a unit practice council, and they meet monthly, and they come up with ideas for their own area, and they bring it forth, and then we will look at it and see if it's doable and start making a policy on it or a standard of care for that. We also have a clinical staffing committee. Everybody is aware that New York State has to have a staffing program. We have to have safe ratios. We have to show that we are doing something to make it safe for nurses. So we meet with that every month, and it has to be frontline staff and leaders, and we have to come up with a proposed plan, and it has to be mailed out, I believe, like every July to the state and be approved. And then you have our HAPPY committee. We have a wound nurse, I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of Darlene Skidmore. She's our wound nurse. She's certified in wound care. She also goes to the wound center and helps them if they need it. And she does wounds on she does the consult on every patient who does have a wound on admission. Okay? And then we have our hand hygiene committee, which is a regulatory thing that you have to have, and we have to make sure that all our new staff that come into the facility knows how to properly wash their hands. I know it sounds funny, but there is a science to it. You can't just do it for 5 seconds and call it a day. You know, so you need a good 30 to 45 seconds of rubbing and friction, even with the hand sanitizer. And then we have like stuff we put on our hands to make sure that it's gone when you're done. So we test people to see how their hand washing is. And then we have a nurse peer review that I meet quarterly with situations that maybe we need to improve on, maybe patient outcomes that maybe nursing needs to improve on, or maybe something that we need to celebrate, we did a great job. And we bring these cases forward, and we invite staff so they can be included in any kind of education that might be asked from those peer reviews. We have a stroke champion who goes to reviews every stroke patient that comes into the facility. And then we have a sepsis champion who does the same thing for every sepsis patient that comes into the facility.
Rachel, I have a question.
Yeah.
How many sepsis people come in, like daily, weekly?
There's a lot.
There's a lot, I know.
Some days we might have a couple come in, and some days we might have 10 to 12 come in. Strokes too, we have them almost every day. It's very rare that we don't hear a stroke alert go off. Okay, but your sepsis can be for many reasons. So there are a lot. Once you fit into a certain grid, then they would be calling a sepsis on you. So we have little grids that we have to follow and triage.
How is the treatment, the initial treatment?
It all depends on if you're basically just septic, or if you're septic shock, or if you're severe sepsis. There's 3 different phases. So your biggest thing is you want to get fluids, because you want to get all those toxins and you want to flush them out. Fluids and antibiotic and blood cultures. So you want to get the blood cultures first, fluids and antibiotics. You never want to give an antibiotic before the blood culture.
When you say champion, what do you mean?
I mean, we have one person that reviews every one of those charts.
Is it a nurse?
Yeah, it's a nurse.
The nurse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then our virtual nursing. So like I had said, virtual nursing is going to start on 2 East, which is med-surg. Real Rome Health nurses, we're going to be improving care and coordination. So as you can see, this is what you may see when if you're, God forbid, I don't want you to be a patient, but if you do come see us. They might first get your permission and then come over the screen. Maybe help you with education. They have all the time, they have that time, they might do your discharge paperwork. We're gonna focus on education and discharge at this point and then go from there. This is probably gonna start the end of February. They're still putting in some of the equipment on the floor. We did do 1 trial and it seemed to work very well. So more to come on this. I'm kind of excited because maybe when I retire, I can be a virtual nurse. You know, per diem. I mean, that's nice. I think you don't lose your skills. You have it, and you know, maybe I don't have to come in this kind of weather. I can stay at home on my computer and talk to you. But more to come on this. I think it's going to be a nice thing for patient satisfaction and for education. It's going to be a real nurse on the screen. Somebody that we hired, not somebody. Right, it's not AI, it's going to be one of us.
Now, Rachel, will the patient get a printout of the directions or recommendations that the nurse?
For the discharge and stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, oh yes.
So that's always.
Yes. But they have more time to spend with them and talk to them and review their medications with them. It's like a one-on-one. Because sometimes we have 22 discharges a day. And then we get 25 new patients in. So the turnover is very, very, very fast. Okay, my simulation mannequin, there she is. She's beautiful. So a couple things that with her, I can take her eyes out and change them. I can change her skin. She can become an elderly person, or she can be a young person. She can become a male or a female. Yes, I have the ability to change it all. So, I mean, this is really, really nice. She sits up, she talks, you can do all this stuff. She even has trunk control where she can sit at the edge of the bed. So this is what we're going to be using for our TTP and our education. We do have a small little nursing sim lab. It's an old patient room, and I can fit like 3 or 4 people in there, and they can go through everything and learn. So we can give them a scenario, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a Zoom and be on the other side so we can watch them, and they're going to take care of the patient, and then we're going to interject where we might see improvement. So it's going to be nice. Any questions on her? We haven't named her yet. She's Nurse Annie, but I haven't named her yet.
Not on her, but so these nurses you're training, are you affiliated with a nursing school, or are they new hires?
They're new hires. So we have a lot of clinical students in our facility. I do oversee all of them, and right now school is starting. I'm actually a clinical instructor for Utica University. So actually today I have clinical. I changed my hat at 3 o'clock, and I'm from Utica University. So we try MVCC, we have Morrisville, we have Utica University, we have BOCES. We have so many clinical students in that we take them, and we're happy to share with them and teach them. So. And you can give our nurse Annie, our patient Annie, whatever, we can give her shots too. She's just a jack of all trades. And then here is our UB Sims. Anybody going to the gala? Okay, well the gala is, I believe it's March 7th, and I just want you all to know that the mannequin will be there. UB Sims will be there, that little thing will be there, and virtual nursing will be there. So they're all coming, and they're all going to be doing demonstrations. So it would be nice if you want to see it, come support, and they're all going to be there. So you'll be able to witness everything. And this is exactly what you see, except they're not blue colored, they're real people. All right, so you see the patient, you see everything that's going on. Like last night I was playing with it a little bit, and I was feeling pulses, and if you put your hand right where your pulse is supposed to be, you can feel it. Well, with these, because this turns into a hand. And then you put your finger on it and you can feel the pulses, you can feel everything, you can listen to it. And you can start IVs, you can give medications. The only thing is you got to get used to this. And they do say that you can ground yourself by just tapping your shoulder so you don't get dizzy. That does work. My first time doing this, I just sat. I sat to do it. Because it does take you out of your room. I mean, you put these on and you're in a different area. The lobby's beautiful. I mean, there's a waterfall, a nice place to sit. It was beautiful. It just brings you into a different area. And then you have your peri-op-sims. So they do the same thing in OR. So the nurses have a peri-op-sim. They can do the same exact thing, and they can practice on how and what to get for each case. What to pick, what instruments, what the doctor's going to ask for. So they can learn that and practice that before they get oriented. So all the nurses, they take this down in peri-op. This is the way of our world. And then I just just want to talk a little bit about another grant that has, that we are getting for our IT system. So it's 18.9 million. And what does this mean for us? Integrated health, electronic health record, replaced in 6 separate. Right now, we don't talk to each other. We have a different thing for OB. We have a different thing for case management. We got a different thing for the ED. We got a different thing for the nursing home. So none of them talk to each other. So this is like, I can't retire until this is done. I want to see this. Continuity of care across the system, it's going to be beautiful. Cyber security improvements, telehealth and telecommunication enhancements, data-driven quality improvements, and provider staff satisfaction. So this has just been started. They just started the process of reaching out to a couple vendors to see what they would provide us. And I think they're dwindling down to like a 5 people or something. And I don't have a lot of information for it, but this is one of the grants that we are getting. And the other one just came, I believe, was it yesterday that I got the email? And it is Rural Hospital Stabilization Program grant. Rome Health is one of the 8 hospitals selected nationally for the Technical Assistant Grant. This program provides free consulting services and startup funding to improve the hospital's financial stability by enhancing or expanding healthcare services that meet community needs. The directors and managers are going to be invited to participate on February 3rd via Zoom to meet the individuals that are going to be part of this program. And for the first up to 6 months, it's going to be financial and operational assessment. We're going to see if there's going to be a financial analysis, an expense, service area and Medicare inpatient market share, inpatient, outpatient service review. So it's just going to go through everything and try to help us to do better with finances and if there's anything that we need to do. And then in 3 months, it's going to identify potential market demand, estimate the financial contribution to the hospital, determine reasonableness of developing new services, or make informed go or no-go. So it's a lot more to come with this. It's going to go through a whole year. And I don't know much more of that until I meet with them on the 2nd or the 3rd, whenever that is. And then there's also the Rural Hospital Stabilization Program grant is different from the Rural Health Transformation Program. We don't know yet how the New York State is going to administer. It's a $212 million. It was awarded through the Rural Health Transformation Program, but we will be applying for those grants when those come forward. So a lot happening with Rome Health with innovation. A lot. Cassie Winters. Does she? Yeah, she does. I was just reading all this from her email that she sent me. So Cassie Winters does our grants, and she is awesome with what she does. Any questions? Yes.
So how is the staffing in nursing? If you feel you're well staffed, is it hard to get new nurses? Are they competing?
All of the above. So, do they leave and come? Yes. We try to get all new grads in, and we do nurse externs. So what we do is we have like students and patient care techs that come in who are in nursing school. And we get them oriented, and then they get more money to be a nurse extern. And then once they graduate, they've already done most of the orientation. Now they can focus on nursing. Instead of just coming off from the street, never knowing our facility, they're ahead of the game. And then they have the transition to practice for a whole year. And we try to make that somewhat fun too. I mean, not too long ago, we went to play pickleball, just to get them off the site and just to do stuff with them. And that was interesting. You can't play pickleball when you wear readers. Didn't go. My team lost. I saw the ball coming, saw it, got too close, and it went right by. because I couldn't see it any closer. So, so I stepped off. I said, "You guys are gonna have to do this. I can't see the ball." But we try to keep them. Some people, they do leave. They leave because they might, at this time they're young, they might get more money somewhere else. Money is a big, big, big thing for nurses and for anybody working in this day and age because our cost of living is so high. So if they can go to another facility and make $4 more an hour, they're gonna go.
How about traveling nurses? Does Rome Health have a lot of those?
We do have traveling nurses, but not a lot. We have gone down quite a bit. I'm not sure exactly where we are right now. Our med surg unit and our ED is the one that uses them the most. But I think it is maybe like 10 or 11 that we're down to. We were before, right after COVID, we were at 30-something travelers. So we have gone down and we're making progress and hoping to get rid of the travelers all together. A lot of travelers joined us. They like our facility and didn't do another contract and came full time. So that's a good thing. Yes.
What about staffing the is that like separate?
No. Yeah. Every department has their own staff. They're all hired for Rome Health. We do float everywhere. However, the ED hires their own people and they have a certain position control that they can only hire so many people. Same with ICU, same with med surg. And once they hire those individuals, then we orient them and then they work on their unit unless we need to float them. You know, you might need to float to RBHU. You might need to float to, and if you don't know that floor, like if you put me on maternity, I can be helping hands. You know, I can't deliver a baby. I don't, so I can be helping hands, I can go to postpartum, I can take care of mom. Okay, I can do things like that. We don't put our staff in any area they don't feel comfortable. Okay.
You mentioned that you utilize BOCES students. I just wondered, do you then hire LPNs?
Yes, we do hire LPNs. We do an RN-LPN model. If you have an RN and an LPN, you can have up to 7 patients because the LPN mostly is doing the meds. So then the RN will be responsible for the assessments and caring for the patient that the LPN cannot do. Yes.
So you mentioned you have 4 operating rooms, and do 2 of those have the Da Vinci robot?
Yes, the Da Vinci robots are very large. I don't think they move them around too much. And I haven't been down in the OR room to see how it's set up yet since they moved everything in. I set up the OR when we were just opening it and got all their supplies for them, but I haven't been back down there in a bunny suit yet.
And my question also is, they're used for ER as well as scheduled surgeries?
Yeah.
So they can be quite busy. Did we have 4 before? Or?
We had 4 before, so now we have 2 procedure rooms. So we went up by 2. If worst case scenario came, you could probably use one of those 2 if you needed to. But 4 should be quite a bit for our community. Okay. Yes.
Do any of your primary care physicians accepting patients?
Yes. Primary cares, are they accepting new patients? Yes, they are. All you have to do is call the medical office and see who is accepting. We have new nurse practitioners. We have several nurse practitioners in Boonville, Camden. They're accepting new people, and then we also have nurse practitioners at Rome in the medical center, and we also have physicians.
What's the difference between procedure and surgery?
A procedure is just doing like a colonoscopy, or you're not being per se cut open, and it's invasive at times. You're putting a tube down somebody's throat to do the endo, but you're being conscious sedated. Whereas OR, an operating room, you're being general sedated. So that you're generally sedated, most likely somebody's breathing for you. Whereas with the procedure, you're most likely able to still breathe and you can hear what's going on and follow direction, but you're not going to remember anything. We have done. Yes.
What about CNAs? Do you still have trouble getting CNAs and trains them?
The CNAs have, they come already with their CNA certified. We don't have a program for certified nursing assistants, and that's only on RHCF that you need to have a CNA. For your floors, you can be a patient care tech. You don't have to be certified. But in the nursing home, they have different regulatory bodies. They have different regs that we have to follow, and they have to have a CNA to be in a nursing home. Do we have trouble getting CNAs? Yes. Again, it all has to do with money. Yeah. And that's everywhere.
How's your retention rate for nursing or care staff and doctors right now?
Doctors, pretty good. Retention rate for nursing, I think we have improved over the last year quite a bit. We do still have our individuals that might leave for they think the grass is greener somewhere else, but I'll be honest with you, a lot of them come back. Because the grass isn't greener, it's just a different shade. That's all. And then they find out that, over at Rome, we're known. Everybody knows me. I'm not a number. It's my family. They know who I am. I know who they are. I don't call somebody, oh, and you work on it med surg? No, I know their name. So it's more of a close knit that you can't find that a lot of places. You go somewhere else, even to the wind, they're not going to know you. They only know you on your floor. But I'll tell you right now, Anne Marie can be walking around the hospital, the CEO, and she can walk up to anybody and she knows your name. So that right there in itself is a big, big thing. If I have a family emergency, we all know, don't we, Lynn? We all know that we all pitch together and we take care of that family emergency and we get that person where they need to be at that time. Because we are a family.
I should have had an experience where my husband's just sitting down the rehab there for 12 weeks. We definitely wanted to go to Rome Hospital, but there was no doctor at that time to get the service situation. So we were forced to go to Wynn, which was not a good experience.
Wynn, I heard the other day, had 200 people in their emergency room and had 68 admissions and no beds available. Yeah, just put that in perspective. When you come into our emergency room and you have to wait maybe 5-6 hours, you're still not waiting. Somebody waited for a bed in Albany for 5 days. Yeah.
Go back to the screen. Is this going to impact the patient portal and all?
Probably, but we'll give out lots of information in regards to that when that starts happening. This is all in the baby phases, so we have time. Yes.
Regarding the shifts for nurses, they like the 3 days?
They like the 12-hour shifts. I'm an old nurse, I like 8-hour shifts. I don't like 12-hour shifts, I'm just too tired.
Are there any departments that allow volunteers or like volunteers?
All our departments, all you have to do is call out human resources.
Like in the nursery
We would do volunteers for paperwork. We might do volunteers for if you want to sit with a patient. Might do volunteers maybe to hold a baby, depending if we have any up there, because sometimes they're border babies, and we don't have a parent for them, so that's time consuming. A border baby is somebody who has been left at the hospital for multiple reasons. It could be medical. It could be medical, it could be social. But usually if it's medical, the parents are there. So, yeah. Any other questions? I've been beeped. I know I'm done.
Thank you, Rachel. Rachel for providing us with the latest information from Rome Health. May I have a motion to adjourn? Phyllis Studio. Can I have a second? Gail Evans. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. See you next week.